Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into the world of LLM-brained GUI agents.
How exciting.
Yeah, our listeners are super curious about this,
It's a hot topic.
where the tech behind ChatGPT meets like the apps and websites we use every day.
Yeah.
And they've shared some pretty dense research with us.
Oh, wow.
A real academic deep dive, so we're here to unpack it all.
Awesome.
Get those nuggets of knowledge out there and have some fun along the way.
It's a fascinating area. It's
Yeah.
changing so quickly.
It is.
Hard to keep up.
It is hard to keep up, so let's set the scene.
Okay.
We all use GUIs every day.
We do?
Graphical user interfaces.
Right.
Those user-friendly icons, buttons, windows that make computers so much easier to use
For sure.
than, the old days of typing commands.
Yeah, GUIs were revolutionary.
They were.
They made technology accessible to so many more people.
They really did, but there's a trade-off, right?
Yeah.
GUIs can be clunky for those repetitive tasks. Clicking the same button 100 times.
Nobody wants to do that.
No one wants to do that.
Okay.
So naturally, people wanted to automate
Of course.
those tasks.
Yeah.
And early attempts,
They were basic.
they're pretty basic.
Random actions, rule-based systems.
Yeah.
Simple scripts.
Like Selenium for web testing.
Yeah.
Appium for mobile apps came from that era.
Exactly.
Tools some of our listeners might recognize.
Probably.
But then things got more interesting with machine learning, computer vision.
Oh, yeah.
Suddenly we had agents that could see the screen
Right.
and make decisions based on that.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
Tools like RawScript for touchscreens
Mhm.
and AppFlow using machine learning to recognize screen elements
Yeah,
really changed the game.
they did.
And then you had Deep GUI,
Oh,
which uses deep learning to just ignore the irrelevant parts of the screen.
oh, interesting.
Made testing so much more efficient.
Okay, so we went from basic automation to intelligent automation.
Right. And that brings us to these LLM-brained agents.
Yes.
Where do they fit into all of this? What makes them so different?
They take that intelligent automation
Yeah.
to a whole new level.
Okay.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Large language models like ChatGPT can understand and generate human language, write code,
Yeah.
even reason logically.
It's impressive.
And now we're using that power to control your computer.
That's mind-blowing.
It is.
But how does it work? How does an LLM actually control a GUI?
So imagine a super efficient intern
Okay.
who's really good at following instructions.
Okay.
The agent receives your instructions, then it needs to understand its environment.
Right.
And it uses screenshots,
Okay.
widget trees, kind of like a blueprint of the interface,
Uh-huh.
and UI element properties to build up a picture of what's on the screen and what it can interact with.
So it can see. It
Yeah.
gets to have eyes.
Tools like Selenium,
Yeah.
Puppeteer,
Uh-huh.
UI Automator, often used to gather all that information. So it's like we're giving it a set of eyes and a map of that digital world.
Exactly.
But then what? How does it decide what to do next?
That's where the LLM's reasoning abilities come in.
Oh, okay.
It analyzes all that information it has gathered,
Yeah.
considers your instructions,
Right.
plans a sequence of actions to achieve your goal.
Okay.
So it clicks buttons, types text, navigates menus, all based on understanding the GUI and your instructions.
Wow. Okay, I'm starting to get it.
Good.
But this research also talks about multi-agent systems.
Yes.
What does that mean? Are we talking about multiple LLMs working together?
That's exactly it.
Oh, wow.
A team of specialized agents,
Okay.
each with their own expertise,
Right.
collaborating on a task.
Okay.
Let's say you want to plan a trip.
Yeah.
One agent might be great at finding flight deals.
Yeah.
Another one specializing in looking accommodation.
Uh-huh.
Another one creating itineraries.
Gotcha. So instead of one LLM trying to do it all,
Yeah.
you've got a team of specialists,
Working together.
each focusing on what they do best.
That's it.
That's amazing. And they can learn from their experiences.
Yeah.
They can get better.
They analyze their actions,
Wow.
identify mistakes,
Okay.
adjust their strategies for next time.
That's pretty amazing.
They can even learn new tools and techniques
Wow.
and share knowledge with each other.
It's like a constant improvement cycle.
It is.
So it's not just about automating.
No.
It's about a system that's always getting smarter.
Yes.
That's incredible. So many possibilities.
So many.
I bet there are lots of different approaches to building these LLM-brained GUI agents.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
An explosion of different frameworks,
Wow.
each with their own strengths and innovations.
Can you give us a taste of that diversity?
Sure.
What are some of the exciting ones out there? What makes them stand out?
Let's start with Web Agent.
Okay.
Designed for web environments.
Okay.
It uses separate models for parsing web pages and generating code.
So like a separate brain for understanding the content?
Yeah.
And then another one for how to interact.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
And it's been incredibly successful at handling even those really complex websites.
Wow.
Then you've got Laser.
Okay.
Laser takes a totally different approach.
Okay.
It models web navigation like exploring a map.
Oh,
It
interesting.
allows it to make efficient decisions about where to go next.
Okay.
And even backtrack if it needs to.
So like giving it a GPS for the internet.
Exactly.
Oh, that's cool.
Now let's jump to something cutting edge. CACT.
Oh,
CACT leverages the power of GPT-4V's multimodal capability,
oh wow.
which means it can understand both text and images,
Uh-huh.
allows it to ground its actions on those live websites
Okay.
with impressive accuracy.
So it's like it's seeing, understanding the web in real time,
Just like a human.
just like we do. That's amazing. Are there any frameworks designed for desktop environments?
Absolutely. Primarily working in Windows, there's UFO.
Okay.
It's a dual agent system.
Right.
Seamlessly navigates between multiple applications.
So no more manual copy pasting between programs.
Exactly.
It's a huge time saver.
For sure.
Are there any frameworks that really push the boundaries?
Oh, definitely. Cradle, for example.
Okay.
Designed for general computer control.
Wow. Like what?
We're talking working with games,
Mm-hmm.
professional software,
Yeah.
even without access to APIs.
Wow.
It really showcases the potential for wide-ranging control over this diverse software.
That's incredible. It sounds like Cradle could potentially control just about any software.
It has that potential.
Are there frameworks that work across multiple platforms, like web and mobile?
Absolutely. AutoGLM is a great example.
Okay.
It uses a clever intermediate interface designed to seamlessly navigate between those web and mobile environments.
So it's like a universal translator for GUIs.
Yes. And for those who are concerned about efficiency,
Yeah.
there's TinyClick.
Okay.
It achieves high accuracy,
Okay.
but with surprisingly compact design,
Oh.
perfect for resource-limited devices like smartphones.
So even on my phone, I could have a powerful LLM-brained agent working its magic.
Exactly.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Are there any frameworks that take a more collaborative approach, like those multi-agent systems we were talking about?
Yes. Agent Store focuses on scalability
Right.
by integrating many specialized agents to work together.
Uh-huh.
A fantastic example of how combining those specialists can lead to powerful results.
Wow. And just to be clear, these frameworks work across a range of platforms.
Yes, we're talking web, mobile, both Android and iOS,
Wow.
desktop environments, Windows, Mac OS, even Linux.
So no matter what device you're using, there's probably a framework out there
Most likely.
that can help automate your tasks.
Yeah.
This is fascinating. But I'm curious about the brains behind these agents, the LLMs themselves.
Right.
How do they get so good at interacting with GUIs?
It all starts with data.
Okay.
Just like any AI, these LLMs are trained on massive data sets
Yeah.
that teach them how GUIs work and how users interact with them.
What kind of data are we talking about? Is it just a bunch of screenshots?
It's much more than that. We
Uh-huh.
need large-scale, diverse data sets
Right.
that include screenshots,
Uh-huh.
UI metadata, which describes the structure and properties of the interface,
Okay.
and even sequences of user interactions.
Okay.
So the agent can learn from real-world examples.
So it's like giving it a crash course in GUI design and user behavior.
Exactly.
Wow.
And there are some really interesting data sets out there.
Oh, like what?
Well, there's Mind2Web,
Okay.
which focuses on those open-ended tasks.
Okay.
This means the agent needs to interpret high-level goals,
Uh-huh.
not just follow step-by-step instructions.
So instead of just blindly following orders, it's learning to think for itself,
Yes.
to figure out the best way to achieve a goal.
That's it.
That's amazing.
Then we have Rico,
Okay.
which is a foundational data set
Okay.
with thousands of UI screens
Wow.
and interaction traces from Android apps. It helps agents understand the nuances of mobile interfaces,
Gotcha.
which can be quite different from web interfaces.
So it's like giving the agent a deep understanding of how mobile apps are designed and how users typically interact with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's AITW,
Okay.
which stands for Android in the Wild.
Catchy.
This massive data set captures real-world interactions on Android devices,
Oh, wow.
enabling agents to handle the incredible diversity of apps and user behaviors out there.
So it's like giving the agent real-world experience, letting it learn from the way people actually use their devices.
Yes.
That's a lot of data.
Mm.
But how do we know if these agents are actually learning effectively?
Right.
How do we measure their performance?
That's where evaluation comes in.
Okay.
Just like we evaluate students to
Right.
see how much they've learned,
Yeah.
we need to evaluate these LLM-brained agents
Makes sense.
to make sure they're up to the task.
Okay, but how do you evaluate something as complex as an LLM-brained GUI agent? What are you looking for?
We use a variety of metrics to assess their performance.
Okay.
One important metric is the success rate,
Oh.
which tells us how often the agent can successfully complete a given task.
So it's basically a pass or fail grade.
Yes,
Did the agent do what it was supposed to do?
exactly.
But it's not just about passing or failing, right? We also want to know how efficiently the agent performs the task.
Of course.
We look at things like how quickly it completes the task, how much memory it uses, how many steps it takes.
Yes,
So it's not just about getting the job done, it's about doing it in a smart and efficient way.
exactly.
Makes sense. But what about safety? How do you ensure that these agents won't do something unexpected or even harmful?
Safety and compliance are absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that the agent adheres to established rules and guidelines
Ah.
and avoids any actions that could potentially cause harm.
Right, so it's like making sure the agent is a responsible digital citizen.
Exactly.
I like that. Are there any specific tests or benchmarks that you use to evaluate these agents?
There are quite a few,
Yeah.
and each one focuses on different aspects of the agent's abilities.
Okay.
For example, MiniWeb E++
Uh-huh.
focuses on basic web interactions,
Okay.
like clicking, typing, and navigating forms.
So it's like a basic skills test for web-based agents,
Exactly.
and they handle the basic maneuvers.
Yes.
Then there's Mind2 Web Live,
Right.
which frames web navigation as a question-answering task.
Yes.
It's all about finding the right information and completing tasks in a real-world context.
It is.
So it's like testing the agent's ability to understand information and solve problems in a realistic setting.
That's it.
What about benchmarks for mobile agents?
For mobile, we have NotebookLM,
Okay.
a comprehensive toolkit for testing agents on real Android apps.
So it puts the agent through its paces in a real-world mobile environment.
Exactly.
And of course, safety is a priority there as well.
Absolutely. We have Mobile Safety Bench,
Okay.
which focuses specifically on evaluating an agent's ability to avoid risks while completing mobile tasks.
So it's like making sure the agent knows how to navigate the digital world safely and responsibly.
Yeah, exactly. And finally, we have ScreenSpot.
Okay.
It tests the agent's ability to interact with UI elements across different platforms using only screenshots.
Oh, wow.
It's a challenging task
It is.
that really tests the agent's visual understanding.
So it's like giving the agent a visual puzzle and seeing if it can figure out how to solve it without any additional instructions.
Exactly.
That's impressive.
And these benchmarks are constantly evolving
have
to keep up with the advancements in the field.
It's amazing how fast this is all moving.
It is.
So far, we've been focused on the technical aspects,
Yeah.
building and evaluating these agents.
Right.
But at the end of the day, these agents are designed to interact with humans.
Of course.
How do we make sure those interactions are smooth,
Yeah.
intuitive,
right.
beneficial for the users?
It's crucial. It's not enough to simply create agents that are technically proficient.
Yeah.
We need to consider the user experience.
Absolutely.
We want these agents to be user-friendly,
Right.
helpful,
Yeah.
trustworthy.
So it's about designing agents that are not just intelligent, but also empathetic
Yes,
and responsive to human needs.
exactly.
And we need to be mindful of the ethical implications.
Absolutely.
We need to make sure they are used responsibly, fairly,
For sure.
in a way that benefits society as a whole.
That's it.
We need to have open and honest conversations
Yes.
about the potential benefits and risks.
Yes.
And work together to ensure this is used for good.
Absolutely.
Well said. This has been an incredibly insightful dive into the technical side of these LLM-brained GUI agents.
It has.
I'm learning so much.
Me too. It's an exciting field.
It is.
So much potential.
But we've only scratched the surface.
Yeah.
In our next segment, we'll shift gears
Okay.
and explore some real-world applications of this groundbreaking technology.
I'm looking forward to that.
Me too. Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
We've spent the last part laying the groundwork
Yeah.
for understanding these LLM-brained GUI agents,
Uh-huh.
how they evolved from that basic automation
Right.
to these incredibly sophisticated systems
Yeah.
that can understand, learn,
Right.
even collaborate.
It's amazing how far this tech has come
I know, right?
in such a short time.
It is amazing.
But now I'm really curious
Yeah.
to dig deeper
Right.
into the technical side.
Right.
How do they actually get so good at what they do?
Well,
It's all about the training.
you got it.
Okay.
just like any AI.
Yeah.
The key to creating a powerful LLM-brained GUI agent
Mm-hmm.
is training it on the right data.
Right.
We need to teach these agents how to see and understand the digital world,
Yeah.
just like we teach children about the physical world.
That makes sense, but what does that training data actually look like?
Yeah.
I'm picturing like a giant library of screenshots
Okay.
with labels on everything.
Yeah,
Is that close?
that's a good starting point. Okay.
But it's much more nuanced than that.
Okay.
We need a variety of information
Right.
to create a really rich learning experience for these agents.
Okay, so walk me through it.
Sure.
What goes into creating a truly effective training data set?
Well, you're right about the screenshots.
Okay.
Those are essential.
Right.
They give the agent that visual representation of the GUI that it's working with.
Yeah.
But we also need to provide structural information,
Okay.
kind of like a blueprint of the interface.
What kind of structural information are we talking about?
Things like widget trees,
Okay.
which describe the hierarchical structure of the interface,
Uh-huh.
and UI element properties,
Okay.
which tell us about each element's attributes and functionalities.
So it's like giving the agent X-ray vision
Yes.
to see beneath the surface.
Exactly.
Understand how all the pieces fit together.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we've got the visuals
Uh-huh.
and the underlying structure.
What else goes into these data sets?
Perhaps the most crucial element is actual user interactions.
Oh, okay.
We need to show the agent how real people navigate these GUIs and perform different tasks.
So it's not just about showing the agent what things look like.
Yeah.
It's about showing it how they're used in real life.
Exactly.
Okay.
These interaction sequences are incredibly valuable
Yeah.
because they help the agent learn how to navigate the interface,
Right.
anticipate user behavior, ultimately complete tasks more effectively.
This all sounds incredibly complex.
It can be.
I'm guessing there's some unique challenges
Yeah.
when it comes to gathering and curating this kind of data.
There are definitely some hurdles to overcome.
Like what?
For one, we need to make sure that our data sets are incredibly diverse.
Okay.
We want the agent to be able to handle any kind of GUI.
Right. So like avoiding biases.
Yeah.
Ensuring that the agent can generalize its learning.
To new and unfamiliar environments.
Mm.
Another challenge is the sheer volume of data required.
Okay.
Training these LLMs effectively requires massive amounts of data,
Wow.
far more than we needed for traditional AI models.
So it's not just a matter of scraping a few websites.
No.
It's much more involved.
And I imagine there are also concerns about user privacy.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
When you're dealing with real user interactions.
We take user privacy very seriously.
Okay, good.
There are strict ethical guidelines and protocols in place to ensure that any user data is anonymized and handled responsibly.
So it's a delicate balance,
It is.
but essential to protect user privacy.
Yes.
While still creating valuable training data sets.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've gathered all this data,
Right.
screenshots, structural information,
Yeah.
user interactions.
Right.
What happens next? How do we actually use this data to train an LLM?
It's a bit like sending the agent to a specialized school
Right.
for GUI interaction. We feed all this carefully curated data into the LLM, and it begins to learn.
And what exactly is it learning? How does this data translate into real-world skills?
The LLM is incredibly good at recognizing patterns
Okay.
as it processes this massive data set.
Yeah.
It starts to see connections between the visual elements of the interface,
Right.
the underlying code,
Right.
and the ways that users interact with it all.
So it's like a giant puzzle,
Yes,
and the LLM is piecing it all together.
that's a great analogy.
And just like any student, the LLM needs feedback to improve.
Of course,
Right.
we use different techniques
Okay.
to provide that feedback and guide the learning process.
What kind of feedback are we talking about?
One common approach is supervised learning,
Okay.
where we provide the LLM with specific inputs,
Uh-huh.
like a screenshot and a task,
Okay.
and then tell it the desired outcome.
So it's like giving the agent a test with
Yeah,
the answer key.
exactly.
Yeah.
But sometimes we need to go beyond rote memorization.
Okay.
That's where reinforcement learning comes in.
Okay. I've heard of reinforcement learning.
Yeah.
Can you give me a refresher on how it works?
Imagine training a pet.
Okay.
You reward them for good behavior
Uh-huh.
and discourage bad behavior.
Right.
Reinforcement learning is similar.
Okay.
We give the agent a task,
Yeah.
let it explore different ways to complete it.
Uh-huh.
If it takes actions that lead to a successful outcome,
Yeah.
it gets rewarded.
Okay.
If it makes mistakes,
Yeah.
it gets penalized.
Gotcha.
Over time.
Yeah.
The agent learns which actions are most likely to lead to success.
So it's like trial and error,
Yeah.
but with a built-in incentive system.
Exactly.
Like guides the agent towards the best possible strategies.
That's it.
And reinforcement learning is particularly useful
Yeah.
for training agents to handle complex tasks
Yes.
in dynamic environments
Right.
where the rules might be constantly changing.
Uh,
It sounds like the training process can be quite sophisticated.
It can be.
How long does it typically take to train one of these LLM-brained GUI agents?
The training time can vary
Okay.
depending on the complexity of the tasks, the size of the LLM,
Yeah.
and the computing resources available.
Right.
Some agents can be trained in a matter of hours,
Okay.
while others may take days or even weeks.
It's amazing to think about all the computation
It is
involved in training these AI systems.
a lot of power.
It's a testament to how far computing power has come.
It is.
But once the agent is trained,
Yeah.
how do we know if it's actually any good?
Right.
How do we measure its performance?
That's where evaluation comes in.
Okay.
It's crucial to have rigorous methods
Yeah.
for assessing how well these agents are performing,
Uh-huh.
making sure they're meeting our expectations.
And how do you go about evaluating something as complex as an LLM-brained GUI agent?
There are several key metrics we use.
Okay.
One is the task success rate, which simply measures how often the agent is able to successfully complete the task it was given.
So did the agent pass the test or not?
Exactly.
Okay.
But we also care about how efficiently the agent accomplishes the task.
Right.
We look at things like how long it takes,
Huh.
how many steps it requires,
Yeah.
how much computing power it consumes.
So we want our agents to be both effective and efficient.
Yes.
Makes sense. But I imagine there are other considerations beyond just speed and accuracy.
Of course.
What about things like safety and reliability?
Those are absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that the agent is acting responsibly,
Right.
following established rules and guidelines,
Uh-huh.
and avoiding any actions that could potentially cause harm
Right.
or compromise user data.
So it's like making sure the agent is a good digital citizen
Exactly.
and to ensure that we're measuring these aspects in a standardized way.
Yes.
We use benchmarks.
Right.
Benchmarks. So it's like standardized testing for AI agents.
That's a good analogy. Benchmarks are carefully designed tests
Yeah.
that assess an agent's abilities in specific areas.
Mm-hmm.
They provide a common framework for
Right.
evaluating different agent frameworks
Right.
and tracking the progress of the field as a whole.
So it's a way to compare apples to apples
Yes.
and see how different agents stack up against each other.
Exactly.
Can you give us some examples of popular benchmarks in the field?
Sure. One well-known benchmark is MiniWALB++,
Okay.
which focuses on basic web interactions
Oh.
like clicking, typing,
Uh,
and navigating forms.
so it's like a driver's test for web agents.
Exactly.
Can they handle the basic maneuvers?
That's it.
Then we have Mind2Web Live,
Right.
which takes a more challenging approach.
It does.
It frames web navigation as a question-answering task,
Yes.
requiring the agent to understand information,
Uh-huh.
make decisions,
Yeah.
solve problems in a real-world web environment.
Exactly.
So it's testing the agent's ability to not just follow instructions, but to actually think critically,
Yes.
use its knowledge to accomplish a goal.
That's right.
And for agents designed for more complex web environments,
Yeah.
there's Web Arena.
Right.
It mimics real human interactions on multi-tab web interfaces,
Okay.
requiring agents to handle multitasking,
Mm-hmm.
interruptions,
Yeah.
long-term goals.
Exactly.
So it's like a stress test,
it is.
seeing how the agent performs under pressure
Right.
in a complex environment.
That's it.
What about benchmarks for mobile agents?
For mobile agents,
Yeah.
we have NotebookLM,
Okay.
a comprehensive toolkit for testing agents on real Android apps.
Right.
It allows researchers to evaluate how well agents perform
Uh-huh.
in a real-world mobile setting.
And just like with web benchmarks,
Yeah.
safety is a top priority.
Of course, we have Mobile Safety Bench,
Okay.
which focuses specifically on evaluating an agent's ability to avoid risks
Uh-huh.
while completing mobile tasks.
It's like making sure the agent knows how to navigate the digital world safely and responsibly.
Exactly.
Are there any benchmarks that focus specifically on visual understanding?
Yes.
Like that ScreenSpot one you mentioned earlier.
ScreenSpot is a great example of
Yeah.
a vision-based benchmark.
Right.
It tests an agent's ability to interact with UI elements
Mm-hmm.
across different platforms
Yeah.
using only screenshots.
Right.
It's a really challenging task.
It is.
Because the agent has to rely solely on its visual understanding of the interface.
So it's like giving the agent a visual puzzle,
Yeah.
seeing if it can figure out how to solve it without any additional instructions.
Exactly.
That's impressive.
And these benchmarks are constantly evolving
Right.
to keep up with the rapid advancements in the field.
This is an ongoing process.
It is.
Of innovation and refinement.
Exactly.
So far, we've been focusing on the technical aspects
Yep.
of
Yeah.
building and evaluating these agents. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
these agents are designed to interact with humans.
Of course.
How do we make sure that those interactions are smooth,
Right.
intuitive,
Yeah.
beneficial for the users?
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
It's not enough to simply create agents that are technically proficient.
Right.
We also need to consider the user experience.
Absolutely.
We want these agents to be user-friendly,
Sure.
helpful,
Yeah.
trustworthy.
So it's about designing agents that are not just intelligent, but also empathetic
Yes.
and responsive to human needs.
Exactly.
And we need to be very mindful of the ethical implications
Absolutely.
of using AI agents.
Yes.
We need to make sure they are used responsibly, fairly,
Yeah.
in a way that benefits society as a whole.
That's it.
We need to have open and honest conversations
Absolutely.
about the potential benefits and risks
For sure.
and work together to ensure that it is used for good.
I agree.
Well said. This has been an incredibly insightful dive into the technical side of these LLM-brained GUI agents. I'm learning so much.
Me too. It's an exciting field
It is.
with so much potential.
But we've only scratched the surface.
We have.
In our next segment,
Okay.
we'll shift gears
All right.
and explore some of the real-world applications of this groundbreaking technology.
I was looking forward to it.
Me too.
Huh.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
We've explored the evolution, the inner workings,
Yeah.
and the training of these LLM-brained GUI agents.
It's been quite a journey
It has.
through that technical landscape,
Yeah.
and I'm eager to see how this translates into real-world applications.
Well, get ready,
Okay.
because we're about to step out of the lab
Okay.
and into the real world
All right, hit me with it.
where these agents are already making waves.
Okay. All right.
One area they're shining is software testing.
Okay.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Testing software can be so time-consuming,
Yeah.
repetitive.
Get that?
Traditionally, it involved humans
Right.
manually clicking through every scenario,
Yeah.
trying to find those bugs.
I can imagine that gets tedious.
Exactly. But LLM-brained GUI agents can automate a lot of that.
Oh.
They can be trained to understand the functionality of an application, execute a wide range of tests automatically.
So instead of a human clicking through every screen
Yeah.
and button combination,
Yeah, right.
we've got an AI agent doing it.
Tirelessly.
Tireless.
Without getting bored.
That's great.
And because they're powered by LLMs,
Yeah.
they can even understand natural language instructions.
Oh, wow.
Makes it easier for human testers to define what they want to test.
That's pretty amazing.
It is,
Seems like a huge time saver.
for sure.
For developers, are there any specific projects
Yes.
or companies using these agents in interesting ways?
Absolutely. One exciting project
Right.
is called Daniel and Anne.
Okay.
Uses GPT-4 to perform that end-to-end GUI testing
Oh,
on web platforms.
okay.
It's remarkable because it leverages GPT-4's advanced language understanding
Right.
and reasoning capabilities.
Okay. To really automate that testing process.
So it's not just about testing that happy path,
No.
the ideal way a user might interact with the software.
Exactly. It's about exploring those edge cases
Right.
and
Right.
unexpected scenarios that might trip up the average user.
Exactly.
Another fascinating project
Yeah.
is GPT Droid.
Okay.
Focuses specifically on testing those Android applications.
Okay.
It reframes GUI testing as an interactive question and answer task,
Oh, interesting.
using GPT 3.5 to generate test inputs
Uh-huh.
and guide that testing process.
So it's like having a conversation with the AI agent,
It is.
asking questions,
All right.
seeing how it responds. That's
Sure.
really neat.
And for those working on mobile platforms,
Yeah.
there's Droid Agent.
Okay.
This project uses an intent-driven approach to testing,
Okay.
meaning it uses LLMs
Right.
to generate realistic user tasks
Uh-huh.
and then executes those tasks on the application,
Okay.
providing valuable feedback from a user's perspective. So it's like having a team of virtual users
Yeah.
constantly interacting with the app,
Yes.
reporting back on their experiences.
That's a good way to put it.
That's clever. So LLM-brained GUI agents are changing the game for software testing.
They are.
What other areas are benefiting from this technology?
One that's particularly exciting is accessibility.
Oh, okay.
These agents have the potential to make technology much more inclusive
Right.
for people with disabilities.
That's great. Can you give us some examples?
Sure, there's a project called AXNav that focuses on automating accessibility tests for iOS applications. It uses natural language instructions and pixel-based models to test features like voiceover, which helps people with visual impairments navigate apps using audio cues.
So instead of a human tester manually checking everything, we have an AI agent that can do it quickly and thoroughly, making sure the app is usable for everyone.
It's about making technology accessible to everyone, regardless of their abilities.
That's fantastic. And beyond just testing, LLM-powered GUI agents are being used to create virtual assistants.
Oh, okay.
That can interact with GUIs on behalf of users.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me more about these virtual assistants.
Okay.
What are they capable of?
One impressive example is ProAgent.
Okay.
A research project uses GPT-4 to automate business processes through GUI-based tools.
Okay.
Imagine a virtual assistant that can handle data analysis, generate reports, send notifications, even manage your calendar.
Wow.
All through a familiar graphical interface.
So it's like a highly skilled digital assistant, seamlessly navigating your software, taking care of those tedious, repetitive tasks that would free up so much time and mental energy.
Absolutely.
And there's another project called Visibility.
Uses GPT-4V.
To help people who are blind or visually impaired understand and interact with data visualizations.
Now that's really innovative. How does it work?
Combines structured chart navigation with GPT-4V's multimodal capabilities, allows users to explore the visualization using audio cues, then ask questions in natural language to get a deeper understanding of the data.
So it's like an AI guide describing the visual aspects and then answering questions about its meaning.
Exactly.
That's truly groundbreaking. Really shows the power of these agents to make information accessible to everyone.
Absolutely. And it's not just research projects.
Okay.
We're starting to see LLM-powered GUI agents integrated into commercial products.
That's exciting. Can you share some examples?
One example is Multinone.
Okay.
A personal AI agent automates those web-based tasks using natural language commands.
Okay.
Imagine telling your computer, book me a flight to London next week. And it just takes care of everything.
Wow.
Searching for the best flights, selecting seats, making the payment.
It's like a personal travel agent.
Exactly.
Living in my web browser.
Another example is Microsoft's Power Automate,
Okay.
which uses LLMs
Right.
to enhance the automation of those desktop tasks.
Well.
It allows users to describe tasks in plain English, and then it records their actions.
Oh, wow.
Creates automated workflows that can be easily replicated.
So instead of writing complicated scripts or code, users just show the software what they want to do.
Exactly.
The AI takes care of the rest.
That's it.
That's user-friendly.
It is.
Are there any examples of these agents being integrated into operating systems?
Absolutely. Apple's latest operating system, macOS, features an AI agent called Yo-Yo. Uses a large language model called MagicLM to understand and execute complex tasks across different applications.
So it's like a built-in personal assistant.
It is.
That's familiar with my computer and apps.
Yeah. What can Yo-Yo do?
Yeah, what can Yo-Yo do?
It can learn your habits, predict your needs, help you get things done more efficiently. Imagine saying, create a presentation based on my notes from last week's meeting. Yo-Yo-Yo pulls up your notes, creates a new presentation, even suggests relevant images and graphics.
That's amazing.
It's a glimpse into the future.
It is.
Of human-computer interaction. AI seamlessly integrated into our digital lives. Helping us to be more productive, more creative, more connected.
This is just the beginning, right?
This is just the beginning.
As these agents evolve, we can expect even more innovative applications.
Absolutely.
Transforming how we work, learn, play. I can't wait. This tech has the potential to revolutionize how we use computers.
It does.
Making them more powerful, accessible, intuitive.
Than ever before.
But with any powerful technology comes responsibility.
Absolutely. As we embrace the possibilities of these LLM-brained GUI agents,
Yeah.
we need to be mindful of the potential impact on society.
Right.
Ensure they're used ethically, responsibly.
For sure.
In a way that benefits everyone.
Well said. It's been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
Into the world of LLM-brained GUI agents.
Fascinating stuff.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
The technical foundations, the real-world applications. This is a technology that's going to shape the future.
It is.
Thank you for joining us on the deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll be back soon.
Looking forward to it.
With another fascinating exploration of cutting-edge technology.
Sounds good.
Until then, keep exploring, keep learning,
Yes.
and keep asking questions